Welcome back, guys, to episode 14 of Candid Chats with CNC. Today we have an exciting guest that will be joining us soon. But before we join with her, Chris, what are some updates that you have from the last time we recorded?
What are some updates? Busy as ever with work, as usual. We have a big event that's coming up in November that I'm helping coordinate everything for. So we've been taking applications and different things like that for that. So it's been really exciting. We have 29 states have applicants from it. So super exciting, including Alaska. So that's really awesome. So hopefully we'll be able to fly an Alaskan down here to DC in a few short months. So that's exciting. This weekend, I am going, as us Ohioans call it, cabrewing.
Yes.
So I'll be going to the Shenandoah, which is about an hour and a half-ish outside of DC. It's west, it's further into Virginia. And so we rented some tubes and we're gonna float down the river.
That'll be fun. That'll be so exciting.
I know, so I'm excited. I've never been to the Shenandoah before, so I think it'll be pretty cool. What else? My mom is coming over Labor Day.
Nice.
So I have been making reservations for that. Just trying to think of what all we can get packed in there. She's coming on Friday, leaving on Monday.
Nice.
So we're coming up with a couple things. One of the things, we're gonna go to that Italian restaurant.
You have to.
I know. But yes, so if you're ever in the DC area and you want authentic Italian food, check out Filomeno Ristorante. It's in Georgetown, and it's decently priced when you go over lunch, but dinner time is pretty expensive, but the portions are huge.
It was so good. It was so good.
And a lot of notable people go there, a lot of presidents, first families, past first families, celebrities, stuff like that. And they have different pictures of them and like what they order. Menu it said like Bill Clinton's favorite dish or whatever. So it was pretty cool. And then we're gonna go to the Watergate Lookout restaurant bar.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so it's got a really nice view of the Potomac and everything. So, and also like if any of you people out there are history people, if you have heard of the Watergate scandal with President Nixon, the rooftop of that building.
Yeah.
So kind of cool. But I think that you have more exciting things than I do.
Yes. I finally, after so many interviews over the last several months, I finally secured a job. So I am so excited. This has been like in the making for a while, and I turned down quite a few offers. So I'm so excited. But yeah, I'm going back to Kentucky, which I'm really excited about. I wasn't ready to leave my life there. Just with COVID and everything, I feel like my senior year was cut really short. So I'm really excited that I'm going to be spending at least the next 2 years there at minimum, which is really exciting. And I'm going to be moving back in with one of my roommates, Hannah. Me and her have a house together. So I'm so excited. I get to be a big girl and enter the adult world, and I'm
welcome to it.
I'm scared, but I'm excited. So yeah. It's crazy. I'm so glad it's finally happening. I was starting to get really discouraged with the amount of interviews that I was doing. So, and it's the city that I want to be at, so I can't complain.
Yeah. It's just so hard. We've talked about this so hard for people who are like coming out of college to like do the whole job search thing. Like it takes forever. You go through so many. There was, especially during COVID, one of my coworkers and I were talking, and he literally had a spreadsheet of over 50 jobs that he applied for.
Wow.
And it was nuts. I was like, and I don't want that.
Yeah. Well, like for me, I started out applying on like a US scale, and then I changed to Ohio and Kentucky, and then I changed to just Kentucky. So I narrowed down my search a lot. So
yeah. Well, we are proud of you.
Thank you.
We're excited.
Yes.
So your background of your Zooms are going to be completely different again.
Yeah, for the people that watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the people that watch on YouTube, which watch our YouTube videos. They're pretty
Mhm.
comical, I think. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, and you can see our reactions. I think that's a good thing too.
Mhm.
But anyway, her background is going to be changing because she's changed. She's moving
Yeah.
yet
I'm
again.
excited because today I started going through everything. Like I feel like just after college and everything, like there's just stuff that I've had for 4 years that it's
Mhm.
just done its time and it's
Yeah.
just tacky to me now. So I'm excited to I'm gonna get some new furniture. I think I'm gonna change up my color scheme of my room and just rebrand for adulthood.
Rebrand. Wow. I mean, what a perfect way or a
Yeah.
perfect time too, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
I'm excited. I was on Target today and IKEA and favoriting
Mhm.
stuff I
Yeah.
liked and like trying to envision how I want my room to look and everything. So I'm going to be working from 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. So I am going to have to get some bomb ass blackout curtains
Yeah. Yeah.
because I'm going
Yeah,
to be
because like what's your
sleeping.
sleep schedule? Like 10, it's gonna be like 10
It's like
to
10 to like 4, like 4.
yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll get up and have breakfast when my roommate's having dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm so
That's gonna
excited
be
though.
weird. Yeah, no, that's super exciting. That's weird. Okay, I was thinking about this last night. You and I, Colleen and I were FaceTiming last night, and I was thinking after we got off the phone, I was like, so is like Colleen gonna be making like pancakes and eggs while like Hannah's making like
Yep.
steak?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Well, and like what's nice too, because I was thinking about this, like it's not going to affect our recording for the podcast at all. Because I'll get
right.
up at 4 and like go to the gym and start my day, and then you'll get off for work, and then we can still record the podcast. We're just going to be on opposite ends of the
Yeah.
sleep schedule.
Gonna be like, wake up, Colleen.
Yeah,
I'm
but
tired. I want to go to bed.
everyone that knows me, like I'm such a big night owl. Like I'm up
Yeah.
until 3, 4, or 5 in the morning. So I don't think it's gonna be like a huge adjustment.
Yeah.
I would suck at a 9 to 5. Like there's no way. My body just can't do it. So when they asked me if I wanted to do the night shift, I was like, give it to me. I don't care. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. And I'm excited to still like have my evenings and like I've been thinking too, because like a lot of journalists they sleep in 4-hour blocks. So then they have like a work block and then like a personal life block. And I kind of did it a little bit over the semester with COVID, and my sleep schedule got jacked up and was like, might as well try this. And they say that you're actually a lot
Yeah.
more like refreshed because you don't have like such a long block of REM. Your REM is a little bit shorter. So that might be something to think about too.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited and we will see how it goes. We're very excited to see how it goes.
Yes, I'm sure I'll have updates.
Oh, yes. Love to hear them.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, should we talk a little bit about our guest?
Yes,
Or,
we should.
yeah. Okay, cool. Well, we're excited because we're going to have Katie from our hometown of London, Ohio,
Mhm.
and a senior at our high school, Madison Plains.
Yep.
She just had her first day yesterday.
Mhm.
So we're excited to talk with her. She is a longtime viewer of our podcast for the
Yes.
past 13, 14. And she's very interesting because not only is she super involved with school and clubs and sports and stuff, but she also owns her own business.
Mhm. Yeah, so we're gonna have her talk about that, and then pretty much just whatever questions she has for us. She has expressed to us via our Instagram DMs that we've helped her a lot with just the idea of going from such a small hometown to being able to branch out and go to college and go to whatever city you want to and create a life for yourself, and that it's not as scary as what it may seem on the outside looking in. So I'm sure she's going to have some questions for us about that. So hopefully we can kind of mentor her a little bit into what her future will hopefully entail.
Yeah, I'm super excited because I've never met Katie in
Mhm.
person or ever. So I'm excited to get to know her and talk to her. And it's also cool because she's from our hometown and she's from our home high school and stuff. So I think it'll be really interesting to talk to her about like how things have changed because I know that I graduated 5 years ago from high school.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
It'll be
mine was
interesting
4
to
years
see.
ago. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm excited. Well, we will go ahead and get into it, I guess.
All right, guys, welcome back. We have Katie with us. So Katie, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Katie. I am a senior at, I don't know, are we saying the school name?
That's up to you.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I'm a senior at Madison Plains this year. I am a varsity cheerleader this year. I coach the flag cheer team. I own my own business. It's called Glade Run Designs on like all platforms and stuff. I've had it for a little over a year. And I crochet, but like we're kind of a little bit away from that. We've been doing some jewelry stuff. It's a family business. So like if my siblings or cousins or grandparents or parents want to make something, I'll sell it through the platform for them and I take some of the profit. But like, you know, it's like our whole thing. And yeah, and that's kind of all that's really about me, I guess. I mean, I've lived in Madison County almost my whole life, gone to Madison Plains, where I'm a third generation Madison Plains student. Live on a huge farm out here, you know, all that stuff. Yeah,
Nice.
that's all we are.
What's it like having a business in high school? That's something that we were really impressed about when we found out that you had your own business.
Crazy. It's opened up a whole bunch of new opportunities I would have never expected. I opened it up with COVID, so it was super easy at the beginning because like I didn't really have like assignments or like I could turn my camera off on Zoom and I really would not be paying attention at all. And I would be doing whatever for that. And then we came back and I got really lucky last year with teachers that were really, really, really chill. And I could sit in class and crochet. And that's actually where, like, if you ordered something from me last year during the school year time and it was crocheted, I made it during school 100% of the time. And then when I would come home from school, that's when I would like dedicate it to packaging and like those types of things. I had a bunch of really like chill periods last year, and I would spend like one period a day where I would draft all of my posts and like I had it all broke down. So it's interesting to kind of do something that not anyone else really does. We actually have one other kid in our grade who owned a business over quarantine. I don't know if he still does, but he started a detailing business. So it was kind of nice to bounce ideas off of him. But it's just something that like when you tell people, you either get a really, really positive reaction or you get a, that's weird. Like I get more, that's weird to crochet. I get asked if I'm a grandma more often than not.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
But people like that I wouldn't expect to be interested in it would get super interested in it when I was just doing it in class. Like I'm not being disruptive. I'm not on my phone. Like I'm sitting there moving my hands. Like I can do it so mindlessly now that like it's nice to just get to sit there and do something that I actually got better grades from it. I focused more in school from it. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. When I fidget and stuff and like especially during Zoom and stuff, yeah, I feel like I concentrate a lot better. So I get that. That's awesome though. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never heard of somebody else that's in a high school have a business. So it's really cool.
Yeah. Well, and I can't imagine that just on top of sports and everything else. I was so tired by the end of the day that that'd be a lot.
I didn't really do sports last year. I had surgery. I used to be a competitive cheerleader for 9 years. Like I like was big. I was first in the state, third in the country, and fourth in the world or something. Like I was really good. I have scholarships and stuff lined up from it still. And then I had surgery that was supposed to be a 1 month recovery. We were like, okay, we're doing it over COVID. I can't even go in the gym right now. It's fine. It became a 5 month recovery. And then with COVID, we weren't willing to spend the $10,000 a year that it costs to not have a season. And that actually ended up opening up the business horizon for me because I wasn't so busy with that. And so, I mean, that was another thing that made it easy. I didn't do sports last year because of it. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you had your second day of your senior year today. So how's that going? What are you excited for? What are you looking forward to? What are you dreading?
It's going good. Our senior class, I've always said it's a big family. And I kind of have said it's more of like our class plus the class above us. So I was worried like once we came into this, what it would be like without that senior class, because there was not a single friend group that was just our class. It was our class mixed in with that class. Like we were all just so close because our class is the smallest in our district, except for this year's first graders. I think last year we had 79 kids in our grade. But we did senior sunrise yesterday, and it was exciting. We had 60 kids come out at least.
That's
We had
awesome.
a huge turnout. We all like organized and had donuts and played cornhole. There's a no phone rule at the school this year at all, except you can have it 30 minutes at lunch.
Wow.
I hate that. Hate it. I have the school's Wi-Fi, so I hate it.
Yeah.
Our school's not just a dead pit for me right now. Like I can do whatever I want on it. But it's nice. It'll be better when my schedule gets better, I guess, because I have all college classes except one, and Columbus State doesn't start till the 30th. So I'm just kind of waiting.
Chilling.
Yeah.
So I have like a bunch of study halls right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Well,
what-
the first couple of days are always like, I'm here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the study halls are in the library, so it's even worse. Like, you're not like, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I just get to talk to your mom for like
Yep.
40 minutes every morning. You know,
Yeah, fun fact, everyone.
Yeah,
just did a whole
Yeah.
10 minutes spiel about the podcast today.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, are you like, obviously I'm sure you're excited to be back with COVID and all of that stuff. So is it weird being back at school?
No, because we had a normal year last year, pretty much.
Yeah, I
We
know
were
that it
only
was
out for
split.
like a month or so.
Hmm.
And even when we were hybrid, I kind of liked hybrid more. I liked not having as many kids at school, which is weird because we're already a really small school. It's weird to see everybody's face. It's like, oh, that's what your face looks like because we don't have masks.
Yeah.
Okay, like that is, but I mean, it's not really. There's some stuff left from last year that's like, it's kind of like a reminder, but it's almost like a normal school year again, which is nice.
Mhm. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sports, normal sports years and stuff like
Mhm.
that. I
Mhm.
saw your new like student section page popped up like
Yes,
as a
I
recommended
help with that.
follow.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
Riley
that-
Davis that runs that. And then I help run
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Did you know that Riley and I are neighbors? Well, like she's neighbors with my parents.
Really? I drive
Yeah,
through her
she-
yard sometimes because I'm not her driveway just kind of creeps up on you. And so I
Yeah.
miss it because I whip it real fast. And there was a huge pile, like first time I ever drove to her house, huge ruts right down the middle of her yard.
Yeah.
It was not good.
That's funny. Yeah. So fun fact, she's my neighbor. Grew up
Hmm.
right beside her. But no, I saw that and it reminded me. So do you guys still use the like slogan like fear the flock?
So our student section died off the last couple of years.
Uh-huh.
It used to be up in that main section of the bleachers. And then my sophomore year, or maybe even my freshman year, it got moved to it was my freshman year. It got moved to the side end zone closer to like the tunnel next to the band
Oh.
over there. Yeah. So the band had a
Yes.
set of the soccer bleachers and we had a set of the soccer bleachers for the student section. They were right next to each other. So the student section was
Oh.
like right by that other concession stand that's not the band concession stand. It's pretty
Mhm.
far.
Interesting.
So it kind of died off, and then when like our old student section leaders graduated, it did, and then we couldn't have one last year. Like we tried, we would put all the students in one spot, but you had to buy your tickets ahead of time, and you could only put 4 people in like a row of that where the student section was when you guys were there, but it was every other row. So we couldn't really have
Oh,
anything. We
Yeah.
didn't even do themes or anything that year. So
yeah. Well, I
hopefully
was
tomorrow
excited.
it's better.
Yeah. I was excited to see that and like you guys came up with like themes and stuff because I was like, whoa, like I did that like my junior and senior year. And I
Mhm.
saw like that hashtag like fear the flock or something. And I was like,
Yeah,
I came up with that.
Yeah, we're trying to, our AD, he's amazing. He is huge on student section. He wants the student
Good.
section to be nice. And he actually believes in like cheer being a thing. And he's like, cheer and student section is going to be our biggest thing on Friday nights. He was so big on it. He was like, I need to know themes. Like I need everything like laid out. And I need everybody to be like included in it, even if that means I have to bribe kids to be there. And
Yeah.
he's like super excited about it all, and so he's pushing
That's
for it.
good.
So I think that's a huge part of it too.
That's good.
Yeah, that's
Well,
exciting. That
The
support, like,
Instagram was actually your mom's idea.
oh, nice.
That's what
funny.
she was like. She's like, yeah, when Colleen went here, we used to have an Instagram for it, and like it was like Fear the Flock and everything. And so I texted Riley later that night. I was like, I don't know if it's dumb, but I think we need to make an Instagram for the student section.
Yeah.
And then she
No, it
put
helped a
that
lot
up.
because then everyone was on the same page. Like, you knew that week, like, what you needed to go to Walmart or whatever and get for Friday. It was really
Yep.
helpful because there was just no questions. Like, it was very black and white, which was very nice.
Yeah, we're
Yeah, I
Hawaiian night
remember-
tomorrow, so
Beautiful.
I loved Hawaiian night. That was fun. We did that at Southeastern my senior year, and that was fun. But we had a Twitter too, which like Twitter isn't like, I don't think it's used that much
Yeah.
really. But like we used to, because it was like a quick like tweet out, and then like everybody talked about it and stuff. Yeah, that was fun. Running the student section was one of the highlights of my like
Mhm.
junior, senior
Well, and then
year.
like
It was
if you
all fun.
start posting pictures like of the student section like at the games and people see how many people are there, then they're like,
Oh,
oh my God,
yeah.
I want to be included too. Like, I need to go to the next one. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Cool stuff.
no, it's exciting. I'm excited. Tomorrow's first game, so
that is
Who's it
exciting.
again? Who'd you say was against?
Westfall,
Westfall.
home against Westfall, and our football team's good this year.
That's good.
Good.
Some scrimmages.
They haven't been good for a while.
We got a new
Yeah.
coach, so
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
against the old one, but
hmm
Yeah.
we beat Adina like by 20 points or something like that at a scrimmage over the weekend.
Nice.
Wow.
That's
That's
good.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, Katie, tell us, what is next for you after graduation? What's the
We
plan?
haven't decided on a college yet. I have a college visit
Okay.
on Monday. I'm gonna be going to Ohio Dominican to look.
Okay.
Nice.
I looked at OU. It didn't feel like home to me. I'm not looking to go too far from home.
I
Um,
hated OU when I visited there.
My dad went there, so he was super big on let's go there, let's go look at this, let's go look at this. I'm like, It was a
Yeah.
3-hour college visit, and the last day before all the students moved out for Christmas, like there was barely anybody there. They showed me the smallest dorm that they had, and it was supposed to be a double. My dad was like, my single was bigger than this.
God.
I didn't love it. Didn't feel right. It was not.
I-
right.
I hated the
Yeah.
drive there. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a cute drive over there.
No.
No. So we're doing Ohio Dominican, and I'm gonna look at potentially being on their cheer team. if I get
Nice.
Cool.
That was
Cool.
my next question.
it.
You said that you're taking college classes, which I took a couple in high school, and it was a game changer. Like, I didn't have to take any social studies or like world geography or anything in college because I did College Credit Plus. So like, for any of the people listening that are like coming up or like in high school or like about to be juniors and seniors, definitely take advantage of that because it can change your entire college schedule. It's
You can
amazing.
start that in 7th grade at our school. So if you're from our
Yes.
school,
Wow.
you need to start that early.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, when I was in high school, they were in like a weird transition phase of like College Credit Plus, or like they used to do AP.
It's
Mhm.
still
But
both.
you'd have to. Okay, it's still both. I was gonna say, because like you would have to take the AP test. I took AP classes, but I didn't take the AP test because I was too scared.
There's
I didn't do
barely
that,
any
but-
AP classes anymore. I took one, but you have to take the AP test to get your credit. If you don't take the
Yeah.
AP test
Yeah.
or you fail it, you just get normal credits for it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm taking this year. I did composition 1 and 2 last year as a college class, and then I'm doing Western Civ.
I took that one.
Yeah. U.S. history. And then those are at Southern State, and then at Columbus State, I'm doing intro to social media,
Smart.
and economics.
Those are two good ones.
Yeah, I'm majoring in business entrepreneurship. I want to keep the business forever. And then I'm going to minor in social media, and I get my certification to be a social media manager before I graduate.
Mhm.
And then I also am going to be able to use that to then market the business.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
And social media managers can make amazing money too. So
Yes.
that's a good
Mhm.
idea.
yeah, that they said something about that at OU. So if anything good came out of my OU visit, it was knowing that exists. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's the plan, is to get that done and out of the way, and then use it to my own advantage. And then ideally, I'd like to have my own storefront one day. And my big dreams are Main Street, London. You know, I want a storefront there. I mean, I know Glade Run is like, our farm is Glade Run Farms. And then we used to have Glade Run Outfitters. And so I was like, well, then when I was coming up with the business name, I was like, Glade Run Designs, like, let's just keep the theme. So I guess putting it on Main Street really isn't the same thing, but it's whatever. But yeah, I'm going to sell other people's products in the store. So it's not going to just be mine. I cannot make a living just crocheting. I can make a living writing patterns though for other people to use for crochet. And I've been doing that since I was 16. And so I can sell those for the rest of my life now. So like whatever I'm doing now with those is setting me up for forever. And there's people that make a living selling like just 10 different types. So if once I have a bunch, like I will be able to hopefully live doing that. But I sell at 4 different places in London, I think 4 in London and 1 in Columbus. I sell my products. You can buy them in person there. And so I want to be able to give other people that opportunity that I was given now. Hopefully.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess another question that I have, I think we're interested in knowing is, we've been told that you listen to all of our episodes or close to it. What one would you say would be like your favorite that you've listened to or watched? And like why, I guess.
The walk down memory lane one. And hearing like
Okay.
guys' high school experiences, because like what years did you guys graduate?
I graduated in 2016.
Oh
I was-
yeah, I was like, I'm in 22. I might have been in like the junior high when you guys were in high school.
Yeah, I graduated.
Yeah.
I was in 2017, so I was a year behind him.
Yeah, so like I remember like the things that you guys talk about, I remember them happening because like I was in the building or I was on the other side of the football field. So like I think I like that one because it was relatable and like I
Yeah.
knew people, or like all the ones with like Katarina, I know her family and stuff. And so like I think it's because that stuff was relatable. But I remember listening to the first one and I walked out to my mom. I was like, Mom, you got to listen to these podcasts. Like this is giving me hope that there's life outside of Madison Plains. Like I'm not stuck in Madison County the rest of my life.
Yeah, when you started DMing us, we were like, oh my God, thank God, like we're helping somebody. It was great to hear that because we were like, are people listening? What do they think? So
yeah.
I tell other people to listen to them too. I know I got Katarina's brother to listen to the one that watch the one that she was on, the first one she was on. Because there was a slight mention of him in there.
Pagacio?
Yes, Pagacio.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I was like, there's a slight mention of you in the podcast, and he's like, "What podcast?" So I kind of explained it to him. He said, "This is so cool." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Well, yeah, it is."
I'll peg. I remember when him and Coach used to fight over who was going to sit on my lap at the county fair.
yeah, or when Pagacia would hide in the corner and jump out and scare Kat and I every time we came over to her house.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
No.
Yeah.
No. I'm sure he would still do that now.
Yeah, that's what Kat
Probably.
said.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
He's
funny.
always trying to get into something.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening to us. We appreciate it. Obviously, you're here.
I downloaded one. I listened to it on the way to Disney.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool. Nice. Colleen, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, so I'm curious because my mom is a teacher and she was in the high school when I was in high school, and your mom also works at the school. So what's it like being a teacher's kid for you? Because it was interesting for me.
Yeah, so it's especially interesting because my mom's an admin. I've never had her as a teacher role, but she was everybody in my class's principal at one point. She was our principal my 6th grade year. And then I left, I went up to the other end, and then she's now the director of special ed for the district, but she's still known as like our principal. And so it's definitely been interesting on how things like affect me like socially. These people, there was a time when I wouldn't get invited to anything because it was like, she's the principal's kid, I'm gonna get ratted out. I'm like, she's not even the principal and my mom doesn't care. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. But at the same time, I love it because I love having that place to go back to constantly. Like I know I always have a place here at the school, and everybody knows my mom, and like it's almost like a safe place. Like and that also comes with like my grandma used to be the secretary of the high school. My grandpa used to be the shop teacher. He was the last shop teacher we ever had at Plains. So everybody knows us, and so I guess that's a huge part of it. I think. So it definitely has its ups and downs, but I don't think I would change it. I love having a staff parent, I think. But I do think there needs to be like a staff parent support group, like for all of us kids that have staff parents and have to go through all the things. Well, there's so many extra obstacles that come with it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, because when you were introducing it, Colleen, it made me think of two. I was like, you have similar experiences, but also like Katie's mom's the principal, and it made me think of, I don't know if you remember Morgan and Shelby Clark. Yeah, Morgan was my brother's age, but they were in a similar situation to that because her dad was the principal of the high school and everyone was terrified of him except for me because I watched him
I'm not scared of him. He got me Easter presents once.
Yeah, like I watched him get dragged across my yard because he was clipping my brother's cow. So I was like, he's fine.
He finished our basement, so like we know him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was gonna say for me, it was interesting because my mom would always tell me that like anything I do reflects badly on her. So I was always like super careful with like going to parties on Friday nights and stuff like that, because I was like, if I get caught doing anything, it's gonna look poorly that the teacher's kid was the one that got caught doing it. So yeah, it was always interesting. It was nice though, because I had migraines really bad like all through high school. So anytime like something happened, like she could always hold on to my medicine for me. Like I wouldn't have to go to the office, and like if I had to leave early, she could just sign me out and like tell the office why I left. So there is like pros and cons to it. It just sucked that her office was literally right down the hall from me. So
I miss my mom being in my building. She's not in my building. She's down at the board office. And so like it is nice. She calls, like she'll just call our secretary or something and be like, hey, she's leaving because of this, and I can sign myself out. But like we have to have medicine kept up here now, and like just little things like that. I do miss her being in my building. I'm not one of those kids that'll get embarrassed of their mom. Like if my mom wants to try to dance in front of a huge crowd and embarrass me, I'm gonna get up with her and dance with her. Like it's not like I'm gonna be like that. So I mean, I do wish she was in my building, but
yeah, we were in the same building up to 8th grade, and then I was so excited to go to the high school because I wanted to like be a big girl and not have my mom in the same building as me. And she wasn't in the same building as me my freshman year. And then my sophomore year, she had to sit me down and be like, I'm so sorry, but I'm getting moved back up. I'm getting moved up to the high school. And I was like, seriously, but it ended up being fine. But I was like, really? So we were in the same building every year except for kindergarten, 1st grade, and freshman year. So
I miss it. Yeah, it's nice. She would take pictures and stuff, and like all my friends know her as well. They don't call her anything because they can't call her by her first name. They can only call her by Mrs. Legault when they're at school. The only people that get a pass are my cousins and obviously us. And so nobody really calls her anything if they do see her, but everybody says hi to her. And so it was nice. Like she would be able to be there for pictures, and like it was just an extra close relationship. Like we don't know our principals now at all, and everybody knew her then, and that was an extra thing. And then I could take all my grievances right to my mom, and she would just be like, okay, let's fix it. Well, she would probably tell me I was being dramatic first, and then maybe we could talk about fixing it if I wasn't being dramatic.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was funny because my senior year, my mom's name is Christina, but all my friends and I call her Tina, and that's something that Katerina and I started. And my senior year, I got pretty much my entire class to call her Tina. And she was so mad. It was so funny. So yeah, you should walk in tomorrow morning and be like, "What's up, Tina?" And she'd be like, "No."
And
it's like, because she won't yell at you. She just hates it. She doesn't like it.
I don't think I've ever called her Mrs. Finney in my life.
Yeah,
Not once.
Well, when I went to school, I was like, "Are you gonna be one of those moms that makes me call you Mrs. Finney?" And she was like, "No." And I was like, "Okay, thank God."
I told my mom, I was like, "Mom, I'm not calling you Mrs. Legault. I'm calling you Mom." She's like, "That's fine. I don't
Yeah.
care."
Yeah.
Everybody likes to
funny.
call my mom Kimmy to like at school. Like, well, no, they're the kids that do call her Kimmy at home because nobody calls her Kimmy. She is Kim. You don't call her Kimmy. I mean, you can. She doesn't get mad, but it's just it annoys her. And so there's the kids that do it at our house, and they'll go up to her. They'll be like, "Hi, kid," and then they have to stop. They try, but it slips every once in a while. And then people are like, "Kimmy, that's her name," like, and we're like,
Yeah.
"No, do not." Like, she's not a Kimmy.
Well, I guess, Katie, we'll get into the questions that you have for us.
Yes.
I have a separate, more personal Instagram. It's not like my personal one. It's my Finsta. And I put something on it. I said, for anyone that has any questions that they wish that they could know before they go to college, or what they wish they would have known before they graduated, like, let me know so I can ask. And I had a whole bunch of people say stuff, and they were like, when I said it was for like a podcast or something, and they said, when it drops, let me know. I'm so excited with my answers. So I have
Aw.
some.
Awesome.
Yes.
Cool.
I guess my first one is, if you could go back into your senior year, like whoever you were your senior year, and tell yourself one thing, what would it be? Or I guess even change something that you did wrong.
That's a good question.
Mine would be not to rush through it. I absolutely hated high school. I hated school with a burning passion. I did not want to be there at all. My mom practically had to drag me out of bed to go to school. And looking back now, I wish I would have just sat in the moment and just been like, you know what, this is what it is. This is my life. You know, my future is going to be there, you know, when it's time. Like definitely when it came to like sports and FFA and stuff, I just dreaded it so much that I didn't actually like take the time to like sit back and be like, even like my like senior night volleyball game, like it's kind of a blur because I didn't like take the time to be like, oh my God, like this is it. I'm never going to do this again. So that all didn't hit me until after I was already done. So yeah, I wish I would have just been content in the moment for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we try to do. We have a Snapchat group chat for all of for the whole senior class. And like, we took a group picture at our senior sunrise. And we all looked at each other and we're like, this is it. This is like our last burst. So like we have a whole lot of traditions that have started in the past couple of years with the senior classes. And so we're trying to like do those and then some. And it's like we're really trying to do that this year for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. I think for me, it would be not to take myself so seriously, because I was like president of like 4 clubs and organizations and stuff, which was awesome and a really cool experience. And I think that I gained a lot of skills that I needed to have, like going into college and then getting my first job and doing internships and stuff. But part of me kind of wishes that I didn't get so overly involved, so that I could take some time to really like soak in my senior year and make more memories with friends. I mean, I made like a ton of memories and everything, but I guess just not to be like, I'm doing this because like I want to be like, I was doing it because I wanted to better myself, but also because it's like, this is going to look good for college applications. Like, this is good for everything, like, and stuff. And so I guess I wish that I wouldn't have like overbooked myself so much. I mean, like Colleen can attest, I had like 5 meetings a week. I literally didn't have a social life until the weekend.
Yeah.
And it was a lot, but it was worth it. I guess that's probably what I would change, just like get less involved, because I was also the person that if anyone was like, oh, we need another person for this, Chris, please come, then I'd be like, sure. So one of those, but I guess that's what I would change.
Definitely. I learned to say no.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've definitely learned to say no in my lifetime now.
My next one is what are like tips for finding your right fit of a college? I know, like, Colleen, you said you had a couple different colleges that you went to, and like, just that right fit, like, for when they're trying to decide that.
Mm-hmm. I think it's very much so a thing where once you take the college tour and you get on campus, you're going to know. It's one of those situations that you know. And if it's one of those, I think Colleen and I both did this since we transferred to the schools that we originally were like, this is our school, but we were like, maybe not though. I wish that I would have listened to myself in the beginning, that I always knew that I wanted to go to Ohio State and be at Ohio State in the end, but I was like, no, like my brother went to Wilmington, like, you know, stuff like that and everything. And then I went, and then I was like, this is not my place. So it's very much so one of those things that you just know that it's the right fit. And also, I would say, of course, like money and things are like a whole different topic for like when people have to apply for financial aid and stuff like that. But for me, I never looked at it as my education has a stopping point when it comes to financial aid, or like just like money, tuition costs, anything like that. Because no matter what, like college was the best 4 years of my life. And so don't put a price tag on something that's going to last you a lifetime and something that's going to have a big impact on you. So I would say just go with your genuine gut feeling, because you're going to know.
For me, I mean, I started out at Kent State, and I definitely went for the fact that they had a really good journalism department. And I think just with my mom being a teacher, I very much was like, you know, obviously I'm there to learn. And I went into it very academic heavy when I was looking at colleges. So therefore, I kind of forgot about like the mental aspect and the fact that like I have to survive and live here and be happy here. In Kent State, I definitely didn't have that. I mean, I felt just like an outcast. Everyone had different political views than I did up there. Everyone was from like Chicago, Seattle, New York, really big cities. And then I was from this little town. So I just didn't feel like I had anybody to relate to. But then going to Kentucky, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but a big thing that helped me was that it does remind me of Madison County. Even though Kentucky is a D1 school and there's 48,000 students, something about that university just has a very small hometown feel. You don't feel like you don't feel like you're surrounded by that many people. So it definitely just became a second home, because I think it reminds me so much up here. I mean, you can drive 5 minutes outside of the city and just be in horse country, and there's farmland everywhere. So that's something that really helped me whenever I was mentally struggling. I would just go drive around the countryside, and it was something that helped me because that's what my brain is so familiar with. So definitely take the mental aspect into consideration and realize that you have to thrive mentally and physically to be able to have that good academic experience.
Yeah, so I guess, I mean, that kind of goes in my next one. I mean, so that's a huge thing for me. Like, I don't want to leave Madison County. I want to build in the district. I want my kids to go here. I want to have like the fourth generation. Right now I have 17 cousins that go to Plains.
Oh,
I'm one
wow.
of 17.
Wow.
Yeah, that all goes to Plains. But so I kind of want to keep that going and all of that. So I definitely get that. That's like a huge deciding factor for me. I'm like, no, I don't like people. I don't want to be roomed with someone I don't know. But what impact has like going to our small school and living out here in the middle of nowhere had on like going to bigger cities and like moving away and all that? Because I am terrified to leave Madison County. Like, I am so scared. I keep saying I'm staying within an hour of home, because I don't want to leave what I've known forever.
I would say, and for Chris, it might be a little bit different, because I mean, Ohio State's close, but like it also feels like a completely different world as well. I want to reiterate first what you said. I mean, there's nothing saying that you can't leave for 4 years and go wherever you want and come back. You know, use those 4 years as a time for yourself. There's nothing saying that you can't come back to your hometown. For me, I would say like the biggest thing that I relied on here was the fact that it's always consistent. You always know what you're coming back to. And it's one of the pros and cons about Madison County, because it never changes. For me personally, though, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to find myself and find my path in Madison County. Just people's mindsets are so narrow, and I wanted, you know, there's so much outside of the world, you know, outside of Madison County of what we've grown up in. So being able to leave and go to a D1 university and really put myself outside of my comfort zone really taught me a lot. And like, it's hard because like you get stuck into that path, into that consistency to where you feel like you can't leave. And like I even considered when applying for jobs, like, do I want to come back? Like, I really like it, but I also don't. So I completely get where you're coming from.
Mhm. I think a couple things. Well, first, when I was growing up, I wasn't super, I mean, I was involved in like agriculture through like a 4-H lens of like showing goats and like pigs and stuff at the fair. And I really did not want to join FFA when I was going into high school, but I was forced to by my dad and my brother. And so I'm thankful that they did have me, because then those 4 years really helped me determine what I wanted to do and where I wanted to be. Because going on different like lobby trips, or going on different like just like trips to learn about ag like on a national sense, kind of made me have the decision of like when I was a junior in high school or sophomore, saying I want to work and live in DC. And in a small community like ours, that just seems so impossible. And so it kind of made me have a sense of more pride within myself, because I was determining myself that I wanted to do this and I wanted to make this my end game. Like, this is where I want to be. And so I think that showing people that you can do something that you're really determined to do, even though you come from like my graduating class was only 97 people. And so coming from an area and just being like, you know what, I'm going to do this, and actually doing it, I think really helped me. And then I would also say, similar to what like Colleen said, like you always know what you're like what's expected when you get home and when you go back home. But I don't know. I like, we can dig on London and Madison County like all the time, but at the end of the day, like that's where I consider home.
Mhm.
And so like, I mean, I talk to a lot of people like at work, and they're from like across the country. I'm the only one in my department that is from Ohio now. And so we're talking, and I always refer to London and Madison County as home, and I refer to my apartment as the apartment. And so when I say like, oh, I'm going home, they're like, oh, like, okay, like see you tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, no, like I'm going home. And so I think that it's also like, even though like the sense of community in Madison County is kind of weird and everything, at the end of the day, you know that you have so many people that you can call, and they're going to be there for you, like no matter what.
Mhm.
And so I think that that's something that a lot of people who grow up in like more urbanized areas don't have a sense of. Because I mean, I can tell you right now, I have no idea of the other people that like any of the other people that live in my building besides Rachel. And that's
Mhm.
because she also went to Madison Plains.
Yeah.
And so I think that sense of community is something that really stuck with me and really helped me become the person that I am. Because I mean, when I was growing up and I didn't want to have a sense of community within Madison County, I didn't talk to anybody. But then like once I hit like middle school age, then like I really like entered myself into it and then started to grow. So I'm thankful for it. And I'll talk smack about Madison County and Madison Plains and London and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's home.
Yeah. Well, and something that I want to add to that, and I think Chris, you'll definitely agree with this, for both of us, home during college was definitely like a good fixer. Whenever like
Mhm.
after finals weeks, like just after something mentally taxing, or like if you were a little bit depressed or you were just unhappy, there's something about coming home and seeing an Ohio sunset that just cures the soul. I don't know what's in that, but that's definitely something. I mean,
Yeah.
home is always going to be there, so don't forget that like you can come back whenever.
Yeah. And a tip of advice also is to stay connected to at least a couple people that either you graduate with, or like friends that are like older or younger than you. Because I know that I'm super thankful that I have lifelong friends with Colleen and Rachel and Kat, because that means like, kind of like Colleen said, it was always a sense of, when I went home from college, like when I was at Ohio State, even though I could go home anytime because I literally lived 25 minutes from campus, but I was able to see everyone, and it brought me like so much joy to be able to push on and be like, I'm looking forward to the next trip home, and when all of
Mhm.
my friends are going to be home too. So
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a whole different side of like, there's Madison Plains and then there's Madison County. Like I had never really been outside of Madison Plains until this summer. And just even one of my best friends goes to London. She lives at Choctaw. I live at Madison Lake. Of course, my best friend has to live at the opposite lake from me in our town. And her boyfriend he went to Alder. He just graduated from Alder, and he became one of my best friends. And even just being out in their district, and like it felt like a whole new world to me. And I spent more time out at Choctaw, and it felt like a whole new world to me. And so, I mean, yeah, I definitely doing that this summer, actually getting a chance to live and like find my people, find my place. I think that it's pushing me away from the whole I want to stay close to home thing. So I definitely think I'm gonna start looking farther.
Yeah.
Willing to cross state lines a little bit.
Yeah.
I
recommend entering yourself into a new atmosphere that you would never think that you would.
Well, and like, I mean, I like Kentucky, literally where I go to school, like it's a 2 hour and 45-minute drive. So it's the perfect length of like people have to plan to come out to see me, but it's also the perfect length that I can drive home in the morning and drive back in the evening if I really want to. So, I mean, I came home for weekends all the time because it was just a hop and a skip over Cincinnati to get home.
Yeah.
I don't really have that here. But yeah.
I don't know, my next one. What is like advice for recent graduates like going into college, or people that are just not moving, like all the kids that are moving in right now, like what is something you would say to them like now that they're senior years older and they're like in that new environment and they're just now starting out?
Yeah, take advantage of the time and plan ahead. Take advantage of the time because like I can probably count on two hands the amount of people that I've seen from my graduating class since actual graduation day. And it's one of those senses that we kind of talked about in our podcast like a couple episodes ago of like, you're so used to seeing all of those people every single day. I know that you know Kaylee Mast. Her and I were in the same grade since we were 3 years old until senior year of high school. And so I watched her grow up. She watched me grow up. And I mean, we communicate like maybe like every once in a while, but really not that much at all. And so, but I wish that I would have taken more time like within the summer to really like get to say those final like goodbyes to people and hang out and actually have those memories, because those are going to last forever. And plan ahead because you're going into a whole entire new season of your life. You're never going to be the exact same person that you were yesterday as you are tomorrow, especially within that time of getting ready to go to college or trade school or starting a job or anything like that. You're an adult, and there's no more high school, middle school, elementary school from like 7 whatever in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's completely different. And sometimes I wish that I would have planned a little bit more instead, especially like when it's going into college. Like you got a lot of stuff that you got to figure out before moving in, and especially like whether that's like things that you need for your dorm room or just like making sure that you have everything in its place and stuff like that. So that's what I would say.
I have 3 points. The first one is to find balance, especially like, obviously do stuff that's going to look good on your resume and that is going to benefit you and for your future, but also do something that's fun, that's a hobby, because then when the academic part gets stressful, you can turn to the hobby to de-stress. Take the mental health days and go to the parties because it's going to go by so fast. Mental health days are definitely something that I would try to take like once a month. I would skip class. I wouldn't open my laptop and I would just do whatever I wanted to do that day. And those definitely saved me, especially when the semester was starting to get really hard. My third thing is don't stress it. Everything is going to work out the way that it's supposed to. So.
I mean, that one's not one I really have to worry about for another year. That was one I had a couple of the seniors from last year asking me, like, I don't know, because Wilmington moves in today, and like a couple others, like OU moved in today. All like everybody is like, I feel like everybody went back to school yesterday, and everybody's moving in today. It's weird. Like all of Madison County went back yesterday
Yeah.
at once, which was weird.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm almost out of questions, but another one I had from someone else, which like I'm trying to get those out of the way for sure. What would you say are like the biggest things that make high school and college so different? I know that they're completely different scenarios, but like the biggest things for you guys.
Mhm.
Like, I don't even
There's
know.
a
Things that
there's
make
a
you like it more almost or something. I don't know.
yeah. There's a lot of differences. I think one of the big things is the independency, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. The independency of you, I mean, really, like, you can do whatever you want. I mean, there are some rules that you like will need to follow and that kind of thing. But along with the independency, it can also be a bad thing because in high school, you have teachers and your parents there that are saying like, hey, this homework assignment, it's late, you need to do it. Where in college, that is completely up to you. If you want to fail the class, the professor will completely let you and they will not blink an eye.
The best way to put
And
it is no one's going to be holding your hand.
no, not at all. You are on your own, bucko. But like, don't look at it as a bad thing either. I mean, it helped me grow up. And I was like, well, guess I have to do this, even though it's like, 1 o'clock in the morning, it's due at 8 a.m. I have to do it. There's some other things, Colleen.
I would
You
say
gotta make
like,
sure you feed yourself too. That was one thing that I struggled with at the beginning, because I would just like start doing stuff and everything, because like I was getting used to the fact of like I don't have anybody there to push me, and I would forget to eat, and then I would be like, I haven't eaten in like a day. Should probably do that.
I didn't realize like how much I took for granted that like my parents have dinner ready at like 6 o'clock on the dot every evening, and it's just like mindless. And then it was like, oh God, I got to do that for myself now.
Yeah.
I would say like, if you hate high school, don't worry, because I couldn't stand it and I loved college. Like it's completely different. I was a very average student in high school. I was fine getting a C if I tried. I didn't kill myself to get a 4.0 or anything. I wasn't in NHS. Like I didn't care enough to be that end all be all student. And then when I went to college, that completely changed. And I think a big part of it is I found what I'm supposed to be doing. And then the grades kind of came, especially for journalism, came to me kind of easy because it was what I wanted to do. I liked doing it. Therefore, I wanted to try. Therefore, I got good grades. I would say the other thing is I think a lot of people really stress about finding their friend group in college. Because I mean, the first couple weeks can be kind of lonely. But it all of a sudden comes together. I think before you realize it, you kind of wake up one day and you're like, oh, I have a friend group. But it is cool because you get to have different friend groups. So like, I had my journalism friends, but I also had my roommates, but I also had my work friends. So it's cool because you kind of have all these different people that you can go to stuff for. And like, you can hang out with this group Friday night, this group Saturday night, this group Sunday. But I wouldn't stress about it because like all of a sudden you just kind of wake up and you're like, oh, I have people. Okay, cool. So, and it is really cool because some of those people will turn into your lifelong people. So,
yeah. I would also say, talking about people and stuff, like, I mean, I support Greek life and everything like that, so I will encourage people to rush like a sorority or fraternity and stuff. But I think that really, like with me, with a fraternity, and then also just like in general, while you're in college, you're actually developing like who you're going to be probably for like the rest of your life, except for like where you're really like, I mean, people change like every day, but that is helping you get a sense of who you actually are comparative. Because I thought in high school, I was like, oh, this is how I'm going to be all the time. I'm going to be like super like involved. I'm going to be doing all these things. I'm going to be running around all the time, be like super energetic about things. But then like once I hit college, I was like, I don't really know. And I would also say, Colleen, you said something. When you're going to classes, like how you were like a better student in college than you were in high school. That's one really good thing that I think once you hit about like halfway through your sophomore year, getting into your junior and senior year of college, you're mainly just doing classes that are solely for your major and minor. And so of course, and that's why we see a lot of people like drop out like their freshman, beginning of sophomore year of college, is because you have to do a whole bunch of general education classes and those suck. But having a good sense of community and people surrounding you, those two, like year and a half, 2 years, then you push through. But once you really get into college, like it's difficult and everything, but it's like a funner difficult, I guess, because like you'll enjoy actually working on the stuff that you're doing because you like it and you're genuinely interested.
Yeah. Well, and what's beautiful too is you have an entire campus of people that is struggling and stressing about the exact same things you are. So it's so easy to find people to talk to because, I mean, just a random person sitting next to you can be like, oh my God, didn't the homework last night suck? And then you just spark up a conversation. So I think it's a lot easier because, I mean, you have this whole group of people that is dealing with the same stuff that you are. And you can find comfort in that, I think, too.
Yeah. Word of advice, be friends with people in your classes because they will be super helpful. Like
yes,
whether you're sick and you just are like, hey, can you send me the notes from yesterday, or like anything like that, like, hey, do you want to work on this project together? Can we compare like things for this test? Like, let's study, that kind of stuff. Definitely talk to people, like, and hang out with people in your classes.
Well, and once you get to your major too, it's really helpful because, you know, I had a lot of friends that were kind of ahead of me. So then I could be like, oh my God, like you took this class with this professor, what'd you think? And then they can tell me like, no, don't take it, it sucks. Or, hey, maybe you should take this instead. So it helps too with forming your classes for the next semester as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you have any other questions, Katie?
They're all kind of the same thing, just with different words. I feel like they've all covered at some point the answer to the ones that I haven't asked. So, you know, yeah. Say things a couple times.
Okay. Cool.
Do you have any like questions that you thought of within listening to us, or do we answer everything?
No, some of those were mine too. I put them in the same thing.
Cool.
But, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is not to worry about it. I mean,
yeah,
you can make it really stressful, but what's the fun in that?
Yeah, no fun. Well, what are you looking forward to for your senior year? Like, what's like if you could name like a couple things that you're really looking forward to, what would it be?
The last memories with my class. I mean, I'm not looking forward to them being last, but I feel like already this school year, we've all gotten so close. Like, there is no drama. We all include each other no matter what cliques we're in. I mean, we're really not. It is hard to be cliquey at Madison Plains.
Yeah.
Because everybody is friends with everybody no matter what, just because like we know everybody in our class. It's just how it is. We've all grown up together. So I'm looking forward to like that and working towards my major and minor and getting a head start, because I'm actually excited to take the classes for a change and they're not just normal gen eds.
Yeah, that's good. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say like, especially because, I mean, you guys were in the same position of us, of like you got pretty much most of your school year taken away from you, or at least it being different and not having, you know, sports and the usual traditions and stuff. So definitely like don't forget to take pictures, because you will look back on those someday and you will laugh and everything. So definitely don't forget to pull out your phone every once in a while.
We have so many pictures already. I have a box that has all of our like I'm saving little memories. I'm gonna print out all the pictures that I have. We have an Instagram. It's for our class. I run that one, and that's where I'm gonna post like pictures from the year for everybody. Like, it's not just me. Like our accomplishments for each person, and I'm just gonna leave it as public because class of 2020 has like theirs, and it shows like their accomplishment. Like it wasn't like normal school year pictures. It wasn't like the fun pictures or whatever. It was just saying what they're gonna do after they graduate. But I was looking back on that. I was like, that's kind of cool that they could look back on that and see that. So like, I think we should do this for our class. And like, it's just gonna be a place that'll stay up and we can go back and we can all look at it and all the pictures are in one place. Yeah, pictures are a huge thing for me.
Yeah, I wish we would have done something like that. But you will realize like later on down the road, the memories that meant the most to you, or the ones that you remember the most, are the ones you don't have pictures of, because you were enjoying the moment so much that you didn't take any pictures.
Cool. Well, Katie, thank you for joining us. We appreciate
having
it.
me.
And we appreciate you always watching and tuning in. Last plug, check out Katie and her Glade Run Designs
Yes,
on
I
all
will.
social media.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I will put the Instagram handle and everything down below.
Cool. Yeah.
And
You can
Etsy
find it
shop,
on.
everything.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometime we've been talking also about doing like some giveaways and stuff. So maybe we'll have to talk to you about that at some
Yes.
point. We're thinking about doing it for Christmas.
We're
So,
doing one on our TikTok when we hit 1,000, and we're at 975. So
hey, getting close.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
We'll have to follow your
Cool.
TikTok.
mhm.
Yeah.
All
Cool.
platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Etsy. I think that's it.
Cool. Cool.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, as you know, one thing that we do when we have guests is the peace and blessings. So we will go ahead and exit out with that. Please make sure to join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Safari, YouTube, you name it, and you can view it. So
Yes. Well, and we wish you the best of luck, Katie, with your senior year and
you.
everything. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And hopefully we can have you back sometime after you've experienced college and see if all of our
Yeah.
answers were true.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
a reflection on it.
Yeah.
cool. All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. Katie, thanks again. And we will see you also in the coming months. And like Colleen said, good luck with your senior year.
Thank
Hope
you.
it goes well. Excited that you're able to do cheer again. So that'll be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, peace and blessings.
Peace, blessings.